Welcome to part 4 of the metagame discussion. I always love digging out Camo Robbie because, of course, Army General Robbie has to be the Robbie that commands the army of going second decks. So part 4 is going to be pretty much dedicated to, well, going second decks, except for the first deck we need to talk about on this list, which we'll get into in just a minute. So if you guys want a part 5, trust me, I had a list of over 30 decks for this. So if you guys want part 4, show some love in the comments section and those likes. Alright, let's dig on in to part 4, shall we? Okay. I needed to get that out of my system. Alright, so the first deck we're going to be talking about in this is actually going to be Spiral. And I had a long internal debate if I even wanted to talk about Spiral on this list. And I think we have to mention it. So Griffin is a card, alright? Now, Goki doesn't have to do a lot. Goki just kind of has to kind of do their things. I mean, they can still do the same cheesy things. Well, yeah, Helix is still a good card. Now, this deck kind of took a huge backseat after extreme limitations were placed on the deck. But I think as a deck that can still abuse a Soul Day, it can combo off, you know, access to Griffin to turn off effects that are not co-linked. Okay, cool. It's pretty cute, and it is worth mentioning at the end of the day that yes, spirals are still pretty much there. I think, for argument's sake, that the deck isn't as great as it actually was. Don't get me wrong. I am just kind of like, yes, I've seen one stray Spiral top 32 recently. Was it a good one? I mean, not really. I mean, you still have Summon Sorceress running around in the TCG. That's fine. You know, I don't know what more Summon Sorceress can do without Needle Fiber and company, but we're going to see. You know, maybe keeping a generic card around for all decks to kind of feed off of might not be a bad idea. Maybe Spiral will be able to capitalize on that. But at this point in time, just be aware Spiral's there. There's not much else to beat into the topic of Spiral. It's field spell, regeneration, same bullshit. You know, it's fun. Now, next up on this list, the going second decks. Ye old Mech Knight. Now, Mech Knight is in an interesting position because I always antiquate Mech Knights to being power crept. I'm like, hey, you guys, like, yeah, the deck will still make a top 32 appearance every once in a while, but the engine itself, it's power creepy. You know, you want to go second with the deck. You want your opponent to place cards in columns, and you want to take advantage of those columns, right? Right? That's how the deck fundamentally goes. Now, you would splash the engine with Sky Striker, or you would splash it with Trickstar, or you would splash it with the Invoked engine. And then you would kind of use those extra engines with the Mech Knights to beat down your opponent in tandem with each other. It was a very good combo synchronized thing. Plus, you know, getting your 6 card, putting through your opponent's resources. Mech Knights can do it. It's grindy at times, though. They also have access to Super Poly. Just if you're playing the Invoked engine, it's kind of more cute than anything. But the deck does fall fucking face first to itself. And it's kind of a shame to say that because, you know, at the end of the day, I really, really, really want Mech Knight to succeed. Just because columns, you know, Hornet Drones got hit, the deck kind of fell to the wayside. But yeah, just kind of be aware that the Mech Knight engine is seeing play, whether or not it be within a hybridized build with one of the other engines in and itself, or somebody's trying something really cheeky and trying pure Mech Knights. I mean, they have Morningstar and stuff like that, but not the grandest of ideas trying to play Mech Knights in a pure form. But column advantage and things like that, yeah, the deck is still fucking viable. It just, when you have this many decks running around in the metagame, you're going to have your good matchups, you're going to have your shit matchups. So I just think 95% of the time more with Mech Knight, it's bad. Now, next up on the Battle of the Going Second decks is Crusadia. Holy shit, Crusadia got a huge boost on this list. This is fucking crazy. So, Crusadia were already playing mass amounts of kaijus to give to your opponent. Well, what happens when the powers that be go, you guys want 3 Slumber, right? Yeah, you guys don't like Sky Striker, right? Like, we got you. We got some more Kaiju support coming out too. All right, all the Crusade players like, oh, I can OTK more, and everybody's just be aware now, okay? I think this is fucking a catch-22, like whatever the hell the reference is. For the time being, Crusadia can board wipe you and give themselves a Kaiju. That's fucking right. Oh, and they can put the Kaiju in front of the zone that they want it to go to, I believe is how it's ruled with the Slumber. God, really? I have to worry about Crusadia OTKing me now? I wouldn't be shocked come Chicago this next weekend here that we see a random ass Crusadia deck top because of triple Slumber. Like, and it's only broken in Crusadia, actually. It's kind of funny. The deck that wants to play stuff in appropriate zones, give your opponent monsters, and use those monsters to OTK your opponent. Only do we want to see that in Crusadia. But congratulations, Crusadia. You know, I didn't actually think you guys could get anything back. But they did it. They managed to make a going second deck viable. Now, the deck still does have its own inherent problems. Can't shit on it too hard for that. You know, Equimax going second. Your opponent doesn't have an out to the board. You know, the cute things like that. But congratulations, Crusadia. You're back at it again. And I'm glad to see you back at the dinner table. Not really. Now, next up on this list is Cyber Dragons. Congratulations, Cyber Dragons. You guys avoided death this list. And I've talked about a couple of times over that if anything happens to Summon Sorceress, Cyber Dragons are going to have a bad time. Now, ever since the concept of the extra link kind of took a back seat for a little while, I mean, decks weren't able to fundamentally produce X extra link all the time. It's kind of why Cyber Dragons were good. They would just go waka waka waka, eat up the extra monster zone, break the extra link. You know, cheers. They'd have a good time. Now, Cyber Dragons, still very much going second OTK deck. You know, they do have to plan out their plays. Machine Dupe is pretty cute in the deck. You know, they have their multiple OTKs. I don't know what more support you can really give them at this point. Maybe more consistent OTK factors. But at the end of the day, I do think, for whatever reason, that obviously between Mech Knight, Crusadia, and Cyber Dragon, I kind of think Cyber Dragon's the weakest at the moment. Crusadia just went from here up to like here. Those 3 copies of Slumber does so much for the deck. Meanwhile, Cyber Dragons just... nothing's changed dramatically in the format to make Cyber Dragons become a better deck. You need a deck that eats the extra link that wants to go first. And, you know, if a deck's not producing the extra link, then unfortunately, what are Cyber Dragons going to be able to do? The best concept that they have as a deck is eating off of monsters and OTKing. And if the only real deck that is really kind of doing that is Sky Striker, you know, their Altergeist matchup isn't fun for anybody. Trap cards are a very rough ride as a Cyber Dragon player. So there is that. Now, but congratulations, Cyber Dragons. You avoided another list. I'm proud of you. Now, next up on this list is actually Burning Abyss. Ye old BA. So Cherubini's right around the corner. Okay. So that means I don't have to deal with Cherubini yet. Okay, that's cool. But then you've got everybody that's kind of sunk all their money into the deck. They're like, oh, BA is a very good going second deck. You can bet your ass it is. Sekka's Light is a hell of a card. Tsuchinoko, producing Dante's. The deck is very much a toolbox. Oh, and they got Chaos Armageddon Dragon, or they just got Chaos Ember back. Really? We really have to go through this? I don't want to be sacked by a BA player. Don't do this to me. But hey, you know what? If I get sacked by a BA player, I'll just smile and just know that at the end of the day, they're still playing a deck from another time. And that's fine. But the BA OTK factor, I think the cheese just got a little bit more real. I don't know if everybody's going to play Chaos Emperor Dragon in the deck. I think it's kind of just more cheesy at this current point in time. But you know, inner me is like, hey, you want to play that Chaos Emperor Dragon, right? And little me is like, no, I don't. Like, play BA. Like, no, I don't like the deck. Like, play it. Come on. It's like, It's kind of how I feel like every BA player is feeling at the moment. It's like you want to be cheesy, but you don't want to be. So once again, congratulations, BA. You guys, you're not as hyped as Crusade at the moment. Those slumbers though, fucking cool. I'm also surprised to see that Sekka's Light has avoided these hits, but I guess it's one more diverse engine in the game. So that is it for part 4. I'm glad to see that the going second decks are still here. They're smiling, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're like, Ora no Tam Toru, play cards, kill you. Oh, you don't die? Okay, I scoop. It's kind of how it goes. Alright, well, we'll probably be back with part 5. That's pretty much what the rumor mill's saying. Peace, guys. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.